Welcome traders to yet another educational video of Nifty Short Term View, episode number 46. What a massive pullback we had today, and it was also very surprising for many people. And I think the special outperformer was obviously PSU banks, because this index was able to close just above 4%. Apart than the PSU banks, you can see almost every other sectoral indices have closed in green. Even metals were not bad. Even metals were close to 4%. But yes, I would suggest that PSU banks were the outperformers over here. Now, if you check my Twitter handle, if any of you are following me on my Twitter handle, then yesterday I had shared a tweet about Bank Nifty. And this is the chart which I had shared. I'll just try to enlarge it. You can see that there were a couple of highs in 2019 and 2020. And these highs were taken off in 2021. All right. And now currently we were trading almost at the same level. So I had shared a tweet mentioning that trend was down, but we were near a very important support. So you have to be very vigilant in banking stocks. And what happened? Banking was the outperformer today. In fact, PSU banks. And if you check the banking index in the daily chart, yesterday we had a hammer. And in the Nifty daily chart, day before yesterday, we had a high wave candle, which generally suggests that the trend is overall down, but it is getting slightly overstretched on the downside. And the next day we have a hammer. So there was a little bit of built up, but it would be such a big pullback. I think no one had thought of that, obviously. Now, let's dive deep into the Nifty analysis, and then we'll talk about Bank Nifty. Talking about Nifty futures daily and the hourly chart, we can clearly see that the trend is certainly down in the daily time frame chart, and the trend is up in the hourly chart, but the overall strength of the trend is not very strong. The state of trend is not strong. Prices may have been closing today above both of the moving averages. I do not deny that. But if you see the overall structure of the daily time frame chart, it is still down, and this is just a mere pullback. And we should not forget, especially this particular zone, which I would like to highlight for all of you. First, I would like to enlarge the daily time frame chart. And if you check this particular zone, this is a pretty strong resistance for Nifty futures. And the reason being is twice Nifty futures had bounced from here. And this time we have been able to close below this. So now this particular band, this particular level is going to work as a resistance. And that particular band is between, I would just share the levels with you, between 15,778 to 15,931. So you can see even a little bit of wick is present on the upside in this particular candle, which suggests that at the last, in the ending, there was some bit of selling pressure coming up. And if you check the hourly time frame charts, it's not surprising that in this zone, a lot of horizontal trading movement has happened. So this will be sort of a short-term support, a short-term resistance band for Nifty futures in the hourly chart, which is again between 15,794 to 15,729. And we have a gap over here. So we are near a resistance zone. Now, if we check the volume pattern, I'll just try to open the 15-minute chart. And if you check the volume pattern, again, it is very strange. Initially, we do have a surge in the volume. You can see these three candles when prices try to take off day before yesterday. The yesterday, and then again today. The first candle, if you check, first or the second candle, you can see a surge in the volume. And then even though this particular candle is very large in the entire day, the volume is very small. So it means that on a very small volume, pullback did occur. And then as the market kept on going, as Nifty futures kept on going, volumes kept on drying out, volumes kept on dipping throughout the day. And at the end, when we saw a little bit of selling coming in, we saw a surge in the volume again. So this is certainly not a good sign. I don't want to say that this is the top or people should go short over here, because it's too early to say that as of now, because I believe that probably tomorrow or day after tomorrow, at least a day, Nifty may consolidate, because today the way pullback has happened, it was a very, very wild pullback. And generally after a wild move, market does try to take a breather, does try to consolidate at least for a day. That's what generally happens. If it continues the pullback, or suddenly if there is a U-turn immediately and we see a downside crack, fine, I don't mind, but I'll be a little bit surprised if that happens immediately tomorrow. It could be very, very volatile, in fact. And if you check the Bank Nifty charts, like if you see over here, this is the particular level. Generally, I don't open weekly time frame charts in Nifty Short Term View, but just once I would like to highlight this thing. This is the level which I was talking about. This previous highs in 2019-20, and now we are at the same level. So this is the reason why today's pullback happened. Actually, there was no strong support in Nifty futures, but I think the trump card today was certainly Bank Nifty futures. Now, if you check in terms of state of trend, the trend is certainly down. No denial of that. And this is a trend line resistance, which has been connecting 3 to 4 points as of now. And prices are taking resistance from two things. One is this particular resistance, the trend line resistance, and second one is the horizontal resistance. Why horizontal resistance? The reason is this was the previous low. We have closed below this, and now obviously this particular entire band could work as a short-term resistance for Bank Nifty futures, and the levels are 33,384 to 33,009 or probably 33,010. So we are at a juncture where there is a lot of supply coming in for Bank Nifty futures. But on the downside, again, somewhere around 32,050, and there is some sort of support which is coming in. So generally speaking, whenever any stock or any index is between a level or a band where continuously resistance or continued support is coming in, it is very, very important that market should surpass at least one side, either on the downside, either on the upside. Otherwise, a lot of choppy movements do occur. So one advice to all of you would be, try to be very, very careful when you're initiating trades in Bank Nifty as well as in the banking stocks. This is something which you should be very, very careful about. Now let's have a look at the hourly time frame charts. In the hourly time frame charts, I think a lot of gains which happened during today, a lot of it has been already given back to the market. And the primary reason was the resistance which we did witness in the daily time frame chart. And above that, we also have a resistance over here, which is between 33,880 to 33,810. You can see multiple times markets have tried to go down from here. And once again, we were within that zone. You can see same level. Again, we were within that zone and we saw some serious selling pressure coming in. And if you open the 15-minute chart, once again, you will see things very clearly that initially, yes, there was some surge of volumes. I certainly don't deny that. It was looking very good. But then later on, as the market tried to progress higher, there was a sudden drop in the volume. Somewhere here, yes, there was a spark. But one thing which I did not like, generally when markets are very, very strong, and when a market takes a dip in an overall uptrend, the volume should come down. The volume should diminish and prices come down. But instead of that, when prices turned down, you will see a surge in the volumes happening over here. So this is something which I have not liked. But again, as I'm saying that it is too early to call a top. It's too early to call a bottom. Generally, after a very big trending day, after a very big day, generally market consolidates, and we also have some sort of support coming up over here. in this zone because there is a lot of zigzag horizontal movement happening. So I think let's wait and watch. Let the market take its decision on its own. And once I think we see some clear-cut indications, then we will be able to understand that whether the market wants to pull back higher or it wants to continue drifting down. Because if it wants to continue, going higher, then it will have to do some serious pullback because there is a lot of resistance coming up at the higher levels in Nifty futures and a lot of heavy lifting will have to be done by Nifty futures. So I think let's wait and watch for a couple of days or maybe at least tomorrow. And then whenever I have some information on the chart, I would try to share with all of you. All right. So I hope this video has helped you to understand how markets might pan out in the next few days. Trade less and stay safe. Thank you.